Just before Christmas in 1968, high school students Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday were supposed to go to a holiday concert in their small hometown of Benicia. Now that's just across the bay, northeast of San Francisco. But instead of going to the concert, the couple instead went to a lover's lane where they got down to the business of smooching. Yes, that's very serious business if you ask me. Now, I have a question. Does this ever go well in horror films? Anybody? No? Yes. Well, it doesn't go well in real life either. 45 minutes later, the couple was found murdered, shocking the otherwise quiet town. Now, 6 months later, the murder was repeated in the small town of Vallejo, again with a couple parked late at night. But this time, the murderer called police from a phone booth just blocks away from the police department and took responsibility for both murders. Now, the police rushed over to the phone booth, but when they got there, all they found was the dangling receiver with a sweaty palm print of the murder. A month later, the killer sent letters to 3 newspapers. The letter had a 408 symbol cryptogram, a coded message that the killer demanded be printed in each newspaper, or he threatened that he would go around all weekend killing lone people until he reached a dozen. Now, I'm sure someone here must be a murder nerd. Does anybody know who this is? Yes, this is the Zodiac Killer, one of America's most infamous killers. Now, Bay Area residents walked around terrified after this. I mean, I know I would be. And they were even more terrified once the letter was decoded. The letter read, I enjoy killing people. I enjoy killing people more than wild game in the forest. Because man is the most dangerous animal of all. I I experience such a thrill from killing people. Thrill that's even greater than getting your rocks off with a girl. Now that is a chilling note, if you ask me. Okay. Now a month later, the murderer struck again in September 1969. A month after that, on October 11th, 1969, the Zodiac Killer stood right where you stand now, where he was picked up by a local cab driver, Paul Stein. Paul was a quiet, studious man married to a loving wife, right? He studied towards a degree during the day, and at night he worked as a cabbie when downtown was bustling with people. So this passenger asked to be driven to the wealthy residential neighborhood of Presidio Heights, you know, a block away from their final destination. The passenger pulled out a 9mm handgun, put it to Paul Stein's head, and pulled the trigger, killing him. Now, 3 teenagers witnessed the murder as it happened from a house across the street. And they told police that the murder wasn't the most haunting part. That came next. When the murderer got out of the car, reached in the window, cut a piece of fabric from Paul's blood-stained shirt, stuffed it in his breast pocket, and calmly walked away. Now, I think if I saw that, I would be scarred for life, personally. Now, the teenagers told the police a description of the killer. They said he was about 40 years old, 5'8", 170 pounds, blonde with a crew cut, and glasses. Now, you're not going to believe this, but when police heard this description, they realized they had already spoken to this person just minutes after the murder. But they had decided that it couldn't possibly be him. Why? Because the police dispatcher mistakenly told them to be on the lookout for a black male. So he got away. Now, sometime later, the San Francisco Chronicle received a letter, an oddly shaped letter, a letter that's heavier than normal. And when they opened it, they found the blood-stained cloth that was cut from Paul Stein's shirt, along with a even more terrifying note. The note said, "I think children are a nice target. Maybe one morning I'll shoot out the front tires of a school bus and take out the kiddies one by one as they come bouncing out of the bus." Now, this is a very, very big threat. Children. So, police patrol cars, helicopters, they all escorted these school buses every morning with armed officers on the bus for added protection. But this would be the last time we heard from the Zodiac. After 5 confirmed murders and potentially 28 other deaths that could have been the Zodiac disappeared just as quickly as he arrived. This case is still open today. So, if you see any suspicious 80 to 85-year-olds, watch out.